calm for years and then this happens twice in 1 week.
Hello, it's Lisa Loves doing a review for you for Geek Legion of Doom, and today we're talking about a new movie called Chasing Shadows. The original title for this movie was actually Chasing Ghosts, but the title has since been changed. This was written and directed by Aaran. It was actually written in 10 days and filmed in 14. It is actually the director's first full-length feature film. So this film follows a detective who is working together with the police to solve a series of murders. I don't want to say too much about the story as it will give away plot lines, but this is something that the police are trying to keep very quiet, very hush-hush, and in the midst of that there have been a number of mistakes made by the police. They're making this detective's job very, very difficult to try to delve to the bottom of who's responsible for these crimes. While we follow the crime side of things, we also concentrate on this detective's home life, on his marriage. He's trying to have children with his wife, so we have that personal side of things also. The job is getting the better of him a bit. He is doing that edge hold of putting the job before his family. His wife's becoming ever frustrated. So we sort of see the two sides of the man, the professional at work, what he's having to deal with regards to his colleagues and their sometimes unprofessional approach, and also the hardships at home with his wife and trying to juggle the home life and the family life. I don't really want to say any more about the plot as such because that will give away elements of the story, so just let's get on to what I thought of different aspects of the movie. Right, first of all, the acting. I usually do give a list of actors involved. There are quite a few actors in this, so I'll pop their names up for you now on the screen so you can see who's in the movie. The first thing I will say, I did find the acting very good within this movie. I didn't feel there was particularly weak performances. There were actors that sure were stronger than others, but there wasn't that weak link that made things very amateur dramatics, which can sometimes happen in lower budget movies or in movies that are first time movies for directors. That wasn't a problem here. I felt the acting was all on par. I enjoyed how the movie was shot. Some of the shots were very inventive. Obviously a lot of thought had gone into how the actual movie looks. The running time for this at just under an hour and a half I feel is a good running time. It's enough for you to get the story, to sort of maintain an interest, but not too much for you to feel that certain portions of the movie were dragging. And that wasn't something I have to say that I felt. I didn't feel that the movie dragged in any particular places. The one thing I have to point out first that really did take me out of things, and perhaps this will be fixed with some tweaks that I know the producer-director is actually still making to the movie, the sound design on this movie was very frustrating at times. It's a case of sometimes you had to turn the sound right up to hear the dialogue, and then there would be a particular sound effect or any background sounds that were happening, like traffic, like feet, like running up steps, like sound effects were very, very loud, and in places the dialogue was quite quiet, so you did find yourself really invasively being hit with sound at certain portions when you had to whack the volume up to hear what was being said. There was one particular actress in this, and although the acting was fine, I felt when she spoke she was so softly spoken that it was really difficult to pick out what she was saying. So that in itself, the sound design were one of the actors in the scene I could hear very clearly, and the girl I had to really strain to actually hear what she was saying. Then the next scene we have something loud and we're deafened. So that is something that I would say is a criticism. That does need a bit of work. I felt the script was quite strong. The storyline, the actual story that we follow was interesting. As I said already, the acting performances were all really good. I know I normally review horror for you. This isn't a horror film, this is more of a crime thriller. There are some aspects in this movie that are quite difficult, you know, that you maybe would slant over onto the side of horror. It is after all about a murderer. And the scenes, I have to say, where that happens, where we have those horrific scenes, even though we cut away, I felt those scenes were very well done, very realistic. Sound effects, everything, the actors in those scenes, sometimes they can be really hammed up and it can come across as just really false. Sometimes we see too much in the special effects just to completely take you out of what you're watching. But in this case we saw just the right amount that didn't take us out of the story, that really brought home the gravity and depravity of what was actually happening, that, you know, that allowed you to feel that personal sort of umbrance as to what was actually happening, but the minimal effects that were actually used in this, the makeup, like blood, things like that, were all very well done, were all very believable, and I have to give kudos for that for someone's first movie to get that side of things so right, because so many movies get that completely wrong. I should have said at the start, this is actually a British movie with British actors and actresses, so it always will have that slightly understated tone that British movies do tend to have. Everything's not very in your face and over the top, it is more grounded, it's more realistic. It's something that gore hounds out there are probably not going to go for because it doesn't give them enough on the side of gore and nastiness. But this really is a thriller. It's something you want to follow through for the character development, which is actually very good. We do get to know the characters really well within this, which is something I liked. And I did feel it had a very satisfactory conclusion. A lot of times in movies you follow a case through, you follow the characters through, it gets to the end, and for me the ending can either make or break a movie. You can get something so completely ridiculous that you just, oh, I've just wasted an hour and a half, this is ridiculous. This movie I felt was very satisfying in how it ended. I felt it was a very real way to end things. So yeah, mostly I have to say positive words for this. If you do enjoy thrillers, if that's your thing and you like British movies, I would thoroughly recommend this to you. Although we don't have specific dates as yet, the director has actually said that the movie should have a limited theatrical release in North America in the summer of 2019, and we should see that on the shelves at Walmart and on VOD in autumn of 2019. So if you enjoy crime, thriller, stroke drama, definitely check this one out. It is an understated one, but it does have interesting characters. I do hope they rectify some of the sound issues with this, as that was my main gripe with the movie. I quite like the content, the story, the acting, the effects, but the sound did really take me out of the movie more than once. So if I had to rate this one out of 10, I'd probably come in at around a 6. It isn't granted the sort of genre that I usually watch, but it was an enjoyable movie. But given this is his first full-length feature film, it's a very, very impressive entry. I will be looking forward to seeing what the director, Aaran, does release in the future. So let me know below in the comments, does it sound like something that you would enjoy? Will you be checking it out when it comes on VOD, DVD, or if you get it in theatres near you? Let us know below in the comments, and I look forward to speaking to you again next time.